You're watching a special presentation of Ring of Honor Wrestling on HDNet.
Welcome to the Ring of Honor on HDNet. Mike Hogwood here with Dave Prazak. There's a table in the ring, and we have no idea why.
Ladies and gentlemen, be accompanied by Shane Hagedorn, Dee Richards, and Eddie Edwards. They are the American Wolves.
Oh, I know why there's that table in the ring. Here come the American Wolves.
Dave, who could forget last week when Kevin Steen, El Generico won their match, and then the Wolves busted them up with that table.
Boy, this brings back memories. You know, last time we were out here, we put your golden boys, Steen and Generico, right here through a table. Now, while that definitely made a statement, there's still some unfinished business. You see, make no mistake about it. Steen, Generico, you're going through a table again. But next time when you do, the Wolves are going to be crowned new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Get it back.
Oh, here they come, too. There's Steen. There's El Generico. And where did the Wolves go?
Well, they're getting out of harm's way, but unfortunately for the manservant Shane Hagedorn, Steen and Generico have their hands on him inside the ring.
I would not want to be Shane Hagedorn right now.
Hey, Hagedorn, you know, I always thought wolves ran in packs. But it looks like your wolves only run in pair because they just left you behind. Please, please. Please what? No? It's all right. Don't worry. You see, we're not like those wolves. I'm sorry, but Steen and Generico are the type to put some poor bastard that didn't really do anything to us through a table, even though he is wearing a horrible sweater vest.
These two want to talk about fashion. Look at what they're wearing.
Oh, wait. Hey, for once you're right. Hey, you did help them to kick my knee in, so you know what?
Oh, my goodness. Shane Hagedorn thrown through the table just as the Wolves did to Steen and Generico last week.
Well, it is just a matter of time before the American Wolves get in the ring against Steen and Generico with the titles on the line. It's only a matter of time, Hog, before we have new World Tag Team Champions.
Well, I wouldn't exactly give them the belt just yet, but I do think it will be a good match, the Wolves, Kevin Steen and El Generico.
Oh, poor Shane Hagedorn.
I think Shane Hagedorn might have got a little bit of what he deserved after the way he acted when the Wolves came out, and that was uncalled for what they did after Kevin Steen and El Generico had won their match last week.
They're going through some tables.
In just 2 weeks, the Ring of Honor World Championship will be on the line. Jerry Lynn defending his title against Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, and Austin Aries. It's going to be historic and something really special. And Dave, I understand right now that there's been some breaking news about another championship.
Yes, Ring of Honor President Kerry Silkin has met with Ambassador Ric Flair, and after what transpired last week and what happened at the top of this week's edition of Ring of Honor, they have made the decision it will be a tables match next week for the World Tag Team titles between Steen and Generico and the American Wolves.
All right, I can't wait for that to happen. Again, that's next week, and then in 2 weeks, Jerry Lynn defends his title. Let's learn a little more about this veteran wrestler.
It's really the same as any other match, except maybe I'll do a little more homework because I've got 3 opponents. Every match that I had to go out there, I try and be in the best physical condition possible. And I always try and dig out old videotape of whoever I'm wrestling against, find what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are, try and not let them get to their strengths. Bryan Danielson, he is one of the best wrestlers on the face of this planet, and you never know what direction he's coming from. Tyler Black, we're no strangers. I've wrestled him quite a bit in the Midwest. He's got a huge arsenal of offensive maneuvers, and I'm lucky that I'm familiar with him. Austin Aries, another great talent, but a little shady. And luckily, I've been in the ring with legends like Ric Flair, and I've learned from one of the dirtiest players in the game, so I know a little bit of the dirty plays, and hey, if someone wants to go that route, I'm not above that. The night I won this title was the biggest night of my career. I mean, for 20 years, I've been working hard and sacrificing, and now I know I really got my work cut out for me. It's not gonna get any easier, it's gonna get harder. I'm not getting any younger, and you got all these young guys climbing up that ladder, and they're hungry, and I've gotta stay hungry and stay focused and motivated. Along with the championship comes a lot of pressure, and that doesn't make it any easier, but to keep this title, it'll mean everything to me.
And again, only 2 weeks until Jerry Lynn, who has performed so well here at Ring of Honor, will defend that world title. Coming up now, we've got a 3-way match featuring Kenny King, Kenny Omega, Jay Briscoe.
Introducing first, from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 235 pounds, Kenny King.
Quite a showman, Kenny King.
Quite an athlete as well. A rising star on the Ring of Honor roster.
Got one of the biggest mouths on the Ring of Honor roster, I know that much.
Participant number 2, from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 221 pounds, Kenny Omega.
And the next time you can see Ring of Honor on HDNet in person in Philadelphia, May 29th and 30th, the ROH ambassador, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, will be a part of the festivities, as well the HDNet debut of Japanese superstar Kenta. And if you've never seen him before, he has had some of the most exciting, high-impact matches of the past 3 years in Ring of Honor. Go to ROHWrestling.com for more information.
The final participant, being accompanied by Mark Briscoe from Sydney, Fort Delaware, weighing 216 pounds, Jay Briscoe.
Jay Briscoe victorious in his last time out on HDNet, beating Sami Callihan on a streak. Now, I'd have to say that Jay Briscoe, the favorite among these 3.
Well, perhaps in your opinion, he's the favorite. My money is on Kenny King. He is a rising star himself, and they might think that it's time for Jay Briscoe to man up here this evening, but this is a great opportunity for Kenny King to get a big victory on HDNet.
David just saw Mark Briscoe outside the ring. Kenny King kind of making fun of him a little bit. He's got an injured knee.
Yeah,
of course, the Briscoe brothers, a great tag team.
They've accomplished a lot as a tag team unit, and with Mark on the sidelines for several months with that knee injury, Jay is forced to go it alone and become a singles wrestler, and tempers are starting to flare here.
It's no fun unless there's sportsmanship. Are you kidding me?
What's Kenny doing here? Trying to play peacemaker. Oh, Jay Briscoe says, I'll give you a piece of my hand.
So much for sportsmanship that Kenny Omega wanted to see. He's pitched to the floor. Looks like Jay's going to focus on Kenny King.
I think these 2 are the focus of this match here.
Well, Kenny Omega has yet to pull out a victory here on HDNet, but fast-paced action right off the bat.
And Jay Briscoe getting the early advantage.
Now the first pinfall wins it in this three-way contest.
One thing we haven't said about Omega is he does have some athleticism. This has not been able to finish. Oh, he goes over the ropes and into Kenny King.
He's certainly someone who is not afraid to take a chance, that's for sure.
That was pretty impressive from Kenny Omega.
But he took his eye off his other opponent right there.
That's the thing in a three-way, Dave. You got to have your eyes almost in the back of your head. You never know what's coming.
And you have to always keep your eye on your two opponents in case one of them might be going for a cover inside the ring to break up any pin attempt, or you could lose the match without even being involved.
Yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. Jay Briscoe definitely with the momentum and the advantage right now.
Continuing the beating out on the floor. They need to bring this back inside. Ooh, but first Kenny King back first into the barricade.
And he's getting a little help from Omega.
Well, you want to talk about agility, it's shown right there by Kenny King off the ring apron, blending out both of his opponents.
And Jay Briscoe has a knee issue now.
See if that comes into play for the remainder of this match. Right now, Kenny King pitches Omega back inside.
Those two headed to the ring, and you can hear the crowd starting to chant Omega, Omega. He'll need the crowd's help. Count of two.
Kenny King staying on the offensive here.
But Omega gets onto the ropes.
Well, Kenny King using that second rope for a bit of an advantage, taking away the oxygen of Kenny King, or of Kenny Omega, excuse me.
All right, we got a lot of Kennys going out here.
And he looked to wear the man down right there, but that gave Jay Briscoe the opportunity to come in and connect with that boot.
Yeah, Jay Briscoe just took a minute to get his breath back. And now he is ready to inflict some damage.
Really going to work on Omega as Kenny King trying to shake off the effects out on the floor. Needs to keep his eye on the action inside the ring, though.
Needs to keep an eye out for Kenny King.
And Omega, great leaping ability himself, was able to drive the face of Jay Briscoe into the canvas right there, but only got two.
A near fall.
Well, King sends Omega to the floor, and he's now going to town on Jay Briscoe.
Oh, and a good counter move by Jay Briscoe. And again,
Kenny
Briscoe just seems to sense what was coming from Kenny King.
Drove him face first into the buckle. But there's Omega to break up the pin attempt.
Briscoe almost won this match. And he throws Kenny Omega outside the ring. And goes to work on Kenny King.
Kenny King needs to turn things around right here. He does duck the clothesline, and ooh, what a kick right to the back of the head.
And again, it's Omega diving into the ring to stop King from getting the pin.
Notice they keep just pitching Kenny Omega to the floor like he's just an annoyance. Keep the match between the two best athletes in this one, Kenny King and Jay Briscoe.
Well, when you talk about athleticism, you got to give Kenny Omega some credit. He has shown some athleticism. I'm not sure he's the same level of wrestler as King and Jay Briscoe.
He's got a 5 count. I'm trying to get him out.
He's got Jay Briscoe down in the corner, grabs hold of the feet, looking to pull him out of the corner, and drops him right on his head.
That hurt, and you see in the background Kenny Omega trying to recover just a bit. There's a count of two. Mark Briscoe trying to give his brother some encouragement. And here comes Kenny Omega, struggling, but he will get back into the ring.
Meanwhile, Kenny King and Jay Briscoe duking it out.
Omega up on the ropes. What's this? He got both of them.
He's got them both stunned. Trying to use that quickness advantage. A double Hurricane Rana.
Kenny Omega definitely surprising here. He's taking the advantage and the crowd loves it.
Oh, full head of steam, but all that momentum taken away by Jay Briscoe.
Now the folks are getting behind Jay Briscoe.
And he is busted open right over the eye. The blood pouring out of the forehead of Jay Briscoe. But here comes Kenny King. Blockbuster. And a DDT at the very same time by Jay Briscoe. Only two.
Near fall, and Briscoe, look at the eye. Look at the blood.
That's just how physical this matchup has been. You got to wonder how that is going to affect Jay Briscoe for the remainder of the contest.
Jay Briscoe definitely feeling it right now.
It's anybody's ball game right now. Kenny King climbing the ropes. Oh, but took a little bit too much time.
And Omega pulls him down right on the ropes, right where it hurts the most.
Jay Briscoe trying to pull himself up inside the ring. He's back to his feet.
And gets a couple of shots in against Omega. There's the athleticism of Kenny Omega.
Lung blower in the corner, both knees driven into the back of Kenny King. And Jay Briscoe looking to follow up, inside cradle. But broken up by Omega.
Just in the nick of time, Kenny Omega. Jay Briscoe sensed that he could get the pin on Kenny King, and he almost had it.
Well, that blood loss is starting to affect Jay Briscoe in a big way. Combination of shots from Omega. Oh, but gets planted.
Now Briscoe, does he have it? No, just two, and Jay Briscoe, he is really upset. He thought he had this match right there.
There's a good look at that cut right above the eye of Jay Briscoe. And despite that, it looks like he might be the first man to his feet here.
All three of these guys are just exhausted.
He's going to focus on Kenny Omega.
Couple of shots to the face. That might be it for Omega. See what he has left.
You're thinking about the Death Valley driver. No, just plants him into the canvas. He's going to go up top.
Well, Jay Briscoe has the advantage right now. Can he turn it into a match ender? We'll see.
Here comes Kenny King. Oh, what a kick. Right to the head of Jay Briscoe, and he tumbles all the way to the floor. His brother Mark checking on his condition.
Which is not good, by the way.
Kenny Omega struggling to get up himself.
Yeah, but you know what? Kenny King is not taking advantage of this. A little strutting around the ring. And we'll see if that comes back to haunt him.
Well, he's got Omega up. Oh, sunset flip.
But Kenny Omega. How about that? Oh, my goodness. Who would have thought this? Kenny Omega has won this match. The ultimate underdog coming in. It is his first win ever here on HDNet.
Quite the upset. Kenny Omega able to get a sunset flip and then a bridge to pull this one out. Let's take another look. Kenny King looked to possibly be setting him up for the coronation. Had him up on the shoulders in the torture rack. And Omega was able to work his way out of this position, gets the sunset flip, bridges forward, and got the 3 count.
What a great win for Kenny Omega, and a lot of strutting cost Kenny King big time in that match. Still to come, our main event. Necro Butcher will team up with Delirious, going against Jimmy Jacobs and Brodie Lee. That should be something special. And we've got more tag team action right now.
This tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Team number 1 from Dayton, Ohio, at a combined weight of 369 pounds, Jake and Dave Chris. They are Irish Airborne.
Jake and Dave Chris, two young athletes out of Ohio, known for their high-flying and fast-paced action. They're going to certainly have to put that to use against these men.
Their opponents at a combined weight of 508 pounds, John Davis and Corey Chavis, the Dark City Fight Club.
Well, you'd have to say that the Dark City Fight Club not only has the experience advantage here, got a pretty big size advantage as well.
And they are undefeated on HDNet.
But I'll tell you, we just saw Kenny Omega a moment ago pull off a huge upset. Anybody can win it at any time here in Ring of Honor.
Referee Bryce Remsburg asking for the code of honor to be followed, the handshake. And the Dark City Fight Club will have none of it.
They go to work early.
Chavis comes charging, and Dave Chris got out of harm's way.
You know, I think these guys, the Chris, have really been inspired by Kenny Omega and what he did in that first match.
They're doing their best to impress right now. Neckbreaker after the gutbuster. But there's John Davis just leveling both of his opponents, and the tide of the match has turned.
There you saw the size advantage of John Davis. And I think the strength advantage is going to show a little bit here too.
Dark City Fight Club looking to put the beating on Dave Chris. There's the tag. In comes Corey Chavis.
You know, the Dark City Fight Club seems to be going about their business like, okay, we have got this. Although he gets the boot up there.
Referee keeping his eye on John Davis in the corner. Make sure that he didn't get any shots in.
Still not the same intensity that I've seen from these guys before. Seemingly knowing that they've got the advantage.
Well, they have to keep their eyes on both members of the Irish Airborne, looking to use that quickness to their advantage, but can Dave Chris work his way out of this position in the corner?
The answer to that would be no.
Oh, but Jake Chris to the top rope.
And look at Dark City Fight Club toying with him. That's it. Slap the porpoise. Dark City Fight Club has won. Really no contest, Dave.
Jake and Dave Chris tried their best to use their quickness and high-flying ability to beat the Dark City Fight Club, but the undefeated streak continues for John Davis and Corey Chavis, just catching Jake Chris out of midair and planting him sit-out powerbomb neckbreaker combination. That was it.
Size, power, experience, just too much. Now let's go backstage to our reporter, Kyle Durden.
Tonight, main event, Jimmy Jacobs and Brodie Lee against these two men, the Necro Butcher and Delirious. There's no denying it. There is history between all of you.
Oh, I remember so many months ago, Jimmy Jacobs, when you brought me to Ring Honor and you talked about change and you talked about fighting for a cause, but it wasn't a bunch of psycho babble to get me to do your dirty work. And for all these months now, we've been going toe-to-toe all over the country, but it seems like it's always 2-on-1, 3-on-1 in your advantage. But then Tyler Black dumped you like a bad habit. And now my man Delirious has seen the light of day too. Delirious, what do you think about Jimmy Jacobs?
It's washed all away, and I have it all clear. But Necro was Delirious. What's that?
I couldn't agree more.
Back to you.
That is the main event. Necro Butcher and Delirious against Jimmy Jacobs and Brodie Lee. No love lost. Still to come, we've got a very physical match. Eddie Kingston and Chris Hero. That's next. Welcome back. Let's get more on our big main event match to come tonight and go back to Kyle Durden.
Tonight, it's Delirious and the Necro Butcher against the men standing beside me, Jimmy Jacobs and the monstrous Brodie Lee. Now, Jimmy, you know a lot about both men. You've been involved with them, you've tagged with them. Some would say you betrayed them.
I do know a lot about both men. In fact, I'll psychoanalyze both men for you. Delirious is strong-willed, but weak-minded. The Necro Butcher is tough as shoe leather and almost as smart. And without a leader, they're lost. It's like running headfirst into a brick wall over and over and over again. Big, bad, 6'10" Brodie Lee has taken everything that the Necro Butcher has, and he's still standing. Delirious keeps fighting, but he's fighting in vain. See, when you run headfirst into a brick wall over and over and over and over again, somebody's gonna end up getting hurt tonight.
There you have it. Very personal. Back to you.
All right, that's our main event. That should be something special. How about 2 weeks from now when we'll have our first ever Ring of Honor World Title match on HDNet? Jerry Lynn, Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, Austin Aries, a four-way match. It should be something special. Right now, let's take a closer look at one of the competitors for that world title, Bryan Danielson.
I'd like to think that nobody in professional wrestling trains as hard as I do. When it comes to preparing for a title match, I bust my ass. I mean, I'm training in Extreme Couture sometimes 5 hours a day. I mean, 2 or 3 hours kickboxing sessions, jiu-jitsu sessions, you know. When I step into the ring, I want to know that my cardio is to a point where I'll never get tired. And my submissions are to the point where nobody can escape them. And my kicks are to the point where if I land one, it's going to blister somebody. That's what my preparation is like. The strategy for a four-way match is the same as any other match. You have to pin or submit your opponent, but there's an added level of difficulty because at this point you have to neutralize 2 other guys. And in my case, it's especially difficult because I'm a submission wrestler. And so I have to neutralize the 2 other guys long enough for me to get a submission on the 3rd guy. And not to say I can't beat people other ways, but that's my forte. So my goal in coming in here is take away Tyler Black's high flying. Take away Austin Aries' kicks and brainbusters. And take away Jerry Lynn's cradle pile driver. Neutralize the 2 other men, and then beat the 3rd guy. To be the champion in Ring of Honor, it's like no other feeling on earth. You step in the ring and you look across from your opponent and you know that they're game, and every single time that you step in the ring and defend that belt, you know that they're bringing everything that they've got. When I was champion, I defended that belt more than anybody in this company's history. And I want to be the first person, the very first person, to be the 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion.
That's in 2 weeks, Bryan Danielson with Jerry Lynn, Tyler Black, Austin Aries. But right now, Chris Hero and Eddie Kingston ready to go at it.
They say it's always sunny in Philadelphia, but tonight's forecast calls for a torrential downpour of boots and elbows courtesy of that young knockout kid. Now, Eddie Kingston wants to get his hands on Chris Hero? Absolutely not, my friend. You are beneath me and undeserving.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, being accompanied by Sarah Del Rey from Metropolis. Weighing 240 pounds, he is the young knockout kid, Chris Hero.
Sarah Del Rey there, Chris Hero. He'll be battling Eddie Kingston.
Ladies and gentlemen of Ring of Honor, you're looking at Eddie Kingston, and tonight, I get my opportunity to take you out, Christopher Hero. And you, my friend, tell me that I am below you. But by the end of the night, After that bell sounds, you're gonna be on the floor looking up at me, and I will be standing in victory. Eddie Kingston, last of a dying breed. Holla.
His opponent from Yonkers, New York, weighing 241 pounds, Eddie Kingston.
Well, he's going right after Chris Hero. Not waiting around for a handshake or anything else. He's going right at him.
Eddie Kingston all over Chris Hero, trying to get out of the path of the last of a dying breed. But he's not giving him any time to recover on the floor.
You see Sarah Del Rey there, and to help out Chris Hero a little bit. But the advantage right away to Eddie Kingston.
Well, Kingston from the streets of New York, he's a brawler, whereas Chris Hero is more of a professional wrestler, known for the hold-for-hold, move-for-move action.
Yeah, and the 2 times I've seen Hero wrestle, he's known for finding that loaded elbow and winning a match by less than honorable means.
Well, you say it's a loaded elbow pad. Nothing has been proven. That's speculation on your part. But he does knock people out with the rolling elbow, and he's going to be looking to hit that during this match. And Sarah Del Rey catching the attention of Eddie Kingston, but there's Hero with the flash kick to the side of the head.
Sarah Del Rey doing a little distraction there.
That's the advantage of having someone at ringside in your corner, and up come the mats on the floor, and he's rolling up Eddie Kingston. Nowhere for Kingston to go as Chris Hero, he's going to get a running start. All of his body weight down on top of Eddie Kingston.
Well, Eddie Kingston may be known as a brawler. He's been brawled on now. We'll see if he can bounce back from it.
Well, the first time we saw Eddie Kingston here on HDNet, he did pull out the victory with the backdrop driver, back fist combination. We'll see if he can hit that on Chris Hero tonight.
Shot there to the head, and I don't think it bothered Kingston at all. He's daring him to hit him.
Without a doubt, these are 2 tough men.
As long as Hero stays away from that loaded elbow, I think the advantage is to Kingston here in this match. And I don't care what you say, Dave, about proving it or anything else. Anybody with eyes has seen what Chris Hero has done the last couple of times he's been in the ring here on HDNet. And all of us now are keeping an eye on where that loaded elbow might come from.
And of course, Chris Hero normally accompanied by both Del Rey and Shane Hagedorn, but of course, Hagedorn unable to be at ringside after the attack earlier tonight by the World Tag Team Champions.
Attack that I might add might have been deserved and called for.
Well, I don't think so. But it is Chris Hero exchanging strikes here with Eddie Kingston. Ooh, chop right to the throat.
And Kingston comes back with a chop of his own and a knee to the chest.
Hero still on his feet, though. Closing the gap. Another flash kick off the ropes.
Only a count of 1.
Hero a little frustrated with Todd Sinclair's count right there.
The big question, can Hero win a match by legal means?
I've seen it happen on many occasions. You know, he does have that green elbow pad passed down by Japanese legend Mitsuharu Misawa, but I've seen Hero in the past win matches without being handed the controversial elbow pad, as you put it. There's a good look at Sarah Del Rey, keeping her eye on the action right here. And again, it's Eddie Kingston asking for him to continue to bring the fight. Hero will oblige.
I don't think this has bothered Eddie Kingston all that much. That one might have. That was a hard shot right to the face.
We knew this one was going to be physical. Kingston trying to shake off the effects, but Hero staying right on top of him. Elbow strike to the head. Kingston trying to shake it off. Here comes Hero.
Hero spent a little too much time playing to this crowd after getting the advantage over Kingston. That might cost him here.
He was able to hit that implant DDT right there. It's giving Kingston some time to pull himself together.
You saw Sarah Del Rey trying to encourage Hero, and here comes Eddie Kingston. And this could be the backdrop driver right here. This could be it.
Well, Chris Hero dumped right on his head, trying to regain his bearings in the corner.
Hanging on to the ropes for life right now, and here comes Eddie Kingston. He wants to destroy Chris Hero.
Oh, Hero's in the corner, though. Needs to give him some distance. And Todd Sinclair trying to cause a break right there, but Kingston's not listening. Continuing to pound away, and Sinclair had enough.
My goodness, he just popped Todd Sinclair, the referee, after Sinclair had disqualified him.
That young knockout kid, Chris Hero.
And Chris Hero is your winner via disqualification. Let's take another look.
Kingston wanted this so bad, he just lost his head a little bit.
And you can't put your hands on a referee here in Ring of Honor. Disqualified Eddie Kingston, a victory for Chris Hero tonight.
One heck of a battle we just saw. Dave, let's go back 1 week ago. Claudio Castagnoli wins with a little help from his friends.
Yes, the Embassy, Dirty Ernie Osiris, and Prince Nana gave a bit of an assist with the shoe of Ernie Osiris to Castagnoli, allowing him the opportunity to hit the low blow on Brent Albright and score the victory. And after the matchup, Claudio Castagnoli attempted to stomp in the head of Albright with a steel chair, but it was Colt Cabana coming to Albright's aid.
And right now, let's go backstage, and Kyle Durden, our reporter, is there.
Ladies and gentlemen, standing beside me right now, Brent Albright. Brent, last week it was scheduled to be you versus Claudio Castagnoli in a singles match. But essentially it turned into 3-on-1 when Dirty Ernie and Prince Nana interjected themselves.
You know, that's right. Last week, me and Claudio Castagnoli, we had a war. We were dropping bombs on each other. And when I finally had Claudio Castagnoli hooked in the crowbar, BAM! Right upside my head, I got hit with a shoe. And if being hit with a shoe isn't bad enough, I got kicked in the balls and had my shoulders pinned 1, 2, 3. And right then, Claudio goes on, he grabs a chair, and he places it on my head. And he's getting ready to stomp my brains in until this man right here, this man came out and helped me out. Colt Cabana, thank you very much, sir. My cranium appreciates it.
You are mighty welcome, Brent. You're so serious. Isn't he serious? And if I can put a little smile on your face, maybe lighten up a little bit, I have no problem. Ernie and Nana happened to ruin my return. Thanks a lot, boys. Well, now, if I can get your back then, I'm going to get your back now. And Embassy, I'm going to have his back in the future.
Brent Albright no longer alone here in Ring of Honor.
Who throws a shoe? A shoe. Ha.
Our main event next week, cannot wait for this. The World Tag Team title. American Wolves against the title holders, Kevin Steen and El Generico. A lot of things have been pointing towards this match next week.
And it is going to be a tables match, Hog. Tables are legal after Steen and Generico put through the table last week at the hands of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards.
Well, as we saw earlier tonight, the turnabout was fair play as Shane Hagedorn got smashed through a table by Steen and El Generico, and I can't say that that was not deserved. Well, still to come, we've got our main event right here. Necro Butcher and Delirious going up against Jimmy Jacobs and Brodie Lee. This is a tag team battle that's worth watching.
Following tag team contest is your main event. It is scheduled for one fall with television time remaining. Team number one at a combined weight of 447 pounds. They're representing the Age of the Fall, Jimmy Jacobs and Brodie Lee.
The leader of the Age of the Fall, Jimmy Jacobs and Big Brodie Lee, set for tag team action here in your main event.
Yeah, this is going to be one heck of a battle.
Their opponents at a combined weight of 439 pounds, the team of Delirious and the Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher and Delirious. Well, we've got two of the largest guys in Ring of Honor, and Necro Butcher and Brodie Lee, and Jimmy Jacobs, one of the smallest. Interesting size matchups in this fight.
Yeah, but Jimmy Jacobs, he's a very dangerous man, though he might not have the size of a guy like Brodie Lee. Jimmy Jacobs is a very violent man. He's got a great mind for wrestling and a mind for creating chaos, and we have chaos right now.
I don't know where to watch.
We've got action on all sides of the ringside area here. Jimmy Jacobs focusing on Delirious, while Brodie Lee and the Necro Butcher battle.
Is there getting a fan to help out there, Jimmy Jacobs? What's that all about?
Jimmy Jacobs setting to the barricade, and it's Delirious chopping away at the chest. Meanwhile, Necro with the chair on Brodie Lee.
The referee has no idea where to go. As soon as I watch two guys on one side, something's happening on the other. And look at Brodie Lee. A few shots to the Necro Butcher.
Oh, it's going to be very difficult for referee Paul Turner to get any order in this particular fight. And Jimmy Jacobs now pulling up the floor mats to expose the concrete and do a little bit of damage to Delirious.
Dave, we need another referee out here, plain and simple. Unless these guys get in the ring.
There's so much history between the Age of the Fall and former members of that faction. It's hard to contain the battle. And it is Delirious bringing the action inside the ring.
And meanwhile, Necro Butcher and Brodie Lee continue to brawl.
We finally get the opening bell as Jacobs and Delirious are inside the squared circle, and it's Delirious with a burst of energy.
Delirious has been waiting for this for a long time, and you can see as he pounds on Jimmy Jacobs.
He was able to get his hands on Jimmy Jacobs just a bit in the mixed tag team matchup recently here on HDNet, and once again, Delirious has got Jacobs up on his shoulders.
Delirious really started out with a burst of energy. Now to the back. And Brodie Lee finally into the ring.
A bit of help for his man, Jimmy Jacobs.
And he throws Delirious onto the mat.
Delirious down on the floor, and the two big men inside the ring.
These guys both known as brawlers.
Oh, they are really laying into one another. It's just a fight.
This is a bar fight is what it is. Two of the toughest guys you'll ever see. The crowd definitely on the side of the Necro Butcher. And he gets Brodie Lee over the ropes and outside the ring. And he missed the mat. He hit that concrete and hit it hard.
Brodie Lee trying to pull himself up on the floor, and Necro's going to follow outside to do a little bit more damage. Getting his hands on Jacobs and Brodie at the same time, double noggin knocker. But keep your eye on Delirious.
That hurt Delirious as much as anybody.
Let's take another look. The suicide flip from the masked man, wiping out both of his opponents on the floor.
Now what is the Necro Butcher up to?
Now he's grabbing Bobby Cruz's chair.
If you know the past, you know he often has several tricks up his sleeve.
We've got three chairs inside the ring, and Delirious going after Brodie Lee on the floor.
I don't think we're setting up here to sit down and have drinks.
He's arranging the furniture inside the ring and kicking away on Jimmy Jacobs.
He's going to pull Jacobs back into the ring, I believe.
And we got those 3 chairs awaiting. What's he thinking about, a suplex onto those chairs? Brodie Lee coming to Jacobs' aid here, and they've got Necro.
This looks like it's not going to be good. A double suplex! Oh my, that does not happen to the Necro Butcher much. He may be done.
We always talk about how tough the Necro Butcher is, but can he pull himself back to his feet after this, all the way down to the hard floor here? These fans getting behind Delirious with the bop, 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 bop. But here comes Brodie Lee helping Jimmy once again.
You know, the Necro Butcher, I'm concerned about him. He may need medical attention. I know he doesn't want it, but boy, he is just not getting up. Meanwhile, you watch what's going on in the ring. Brodie Lee, Delirious.
It's 2-on-1 basically inside the ring with Necro neutralized on the floor. And there's no moving that brick wall that is Brodie Lee.
You said neutralized, I say he's incapacitated.
That too. The point is, Delirious is fighting all by himself against 2 men.
Well, Jacobs knocked outside the ring. Delirious trying to regroup.
Brodie Lee and Jimmy Jacobs trying to get on the same page here. Brodie goes for the cover.
Only a count of 2 before Delirious able to get the shoulder up. But as you can see, he is in trouble.
Brodie Lee just holding Delirious for Jimmy Jacobs.
And here comes Jimmy. The double axe handle does damage to Delirious. Only a count of 1.
Jimmy Jacobs can't believe it. 2 1 counts, and we still have Necro out on the floor.
Delirious desperately needs to tag out, but there's nobody to tag out to. Necro Butcher still incapacitated.
You'll notice right before that neck breaker by Jacobs, he's holding on to the tassels on the back of the mask of Delirious. It's like a leash, leading him around like a dog. And there's the tag to Brodie Lee. The Age of the Fall listening to the referee. It has broken down into an official tag team matchup, Hog.
This isn't a tag team matchup. This is 2 against 1 is what this is.
They are tagging in and out. It's not their fault that Necro can't get up and be a good partner for Delirious.
Yeah, they're the ones that caused him to be incapacitated. I still say we need to get some medical help over there to Necro Butcher. I have not seen him ever down on the floor like this and not able to get up. Delirious. Oh, he lifts up Brodie Lee. Now that's quite a chore.
He tried for the body slam, but it was too much weight for Delirious to carry, and Brodie Lee wound up on top in a pinning predicament. Referee trying to keep Jimmy Jacobs in his corner. Butterfly suplex from Brodie Lee.
Brodie Lee got a 2 count. Near fall.
You know, I think it's just a matter of time before Delirious falls victim to the Age of the Fall. A 3 count, perhaps a submission. More double team work, maybe another double axe handle. Ooh! But the headbutt from Delirious to the midsection this time.
Delirious doing whatever he can, and you're not going to see him give up. You talked about submission. That's not going to happen.
I don't know, Jimmy Jacobs, he's a master at using that end time guillotine choke. If he could lock that in on Delirious, this one could be over. Here comes Brodie.
Listen to the crowd, though, and there's Necro Butcher almost being willed to get up by this crowd.
Double team work from the Age of the Fall. Senton off the top.
Look at the Necro Butcher. The Necro Butcher is coming back, folks. He is coming back into the ring. Who would have thought this?
How is
the fans just willed him to get back?
I'm amazed that he's even back on his feet. But it is Necro with Brodie Lee in the corner now.
And he's giving Brodie Lee a little of his own medicine.
Jimmy Jacobs, he's got a bag.
What is that in the bag? What is the bag about?
Jimmy Jacobs has a lot in his bag of tricks. Thumbtacks!
Thumbtacks.
And the Necro Butcher is barefoot.
Well, he always wrestles barefoot. There's thumbtacks out there.
A great strategy by Jimmy Jacobs. But Delirious clotheslines Jimmy to the floor. The Necro Butcher barefoot on thumbtacks.
Yeah, but look at this. Necro Butcher grabbing up a handful of those thumbtacks. See what he has in store with him. Throws him in the face. He threw him in the face of Brodie Lee. Well, Brodie Lee got what he deserved there.
Body slam in the tacks. And there's Delirious to the top. Shadows over hell.
Down on the tacks. That's it. What a comeback by Delirious and the Necro Butcher to win. And the tactic by Jimmy Jacobs backfired. Oh, it backfired big time.
Well, he did successfully get several thumbtacks in the feet of the Necro Butcher, but somehow he fought back, slammed Brodie Lee, and gave Delirious the chance to hit Shadows over hell. And he got the 3 count.
Just goes to show when you try to win by less than honorable means, sometimes it will come back to bite you. And that's what happened. Delirious and the Necro Butcher overcame so much to win that match.
Oh, it's just a setback for Jimmy Jacobs in the age of the fall.
What a great win, and you can hear this crowd. They love it. They appreciate the effort from these two fine wrestlers. This has been some night.
And next week, the World Tag Team titles will be on the line. Tables are legal as Kevin Steen and El Generico defend the belts against the American Wolves.
The Ring of Honor on HDNet.
You've been watching a special presentation of Ring of Honor Wrestling on HDNet. Ring of Honor fans, be sure to join us for the following Ric Flair appearances. The Nature Boy will be making his presence known May 29th at the Arena in Philadelphia, PA, as part of an exclusive HDNet taping. Then, June 12th in Manassas, Virginia, followed by June 13th from the Hammerstein Ballroom in the heart of New York City. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit ROHWrestling.com.